Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and thank you again for tuning in. Today we have a 2013 Yamaha F-250. Customer complains he put the boat in the water and it wouldn't start. I mean, it did start for a few seconds and then died. He didn't know what to do, so he went and got the primer bulb, installed a new primer bulb, primed the fuel system, nothing happened. So we brought it to the shop and we have it here. First thing you do is to see if the system is actually working the way it should before making any repairs. First thing you do is you turn the key switch on, not crank the motor. Just turn the key switch on and put your ear close to the port side intake manifold right here. You put your ear in there, turn the key switch on, and you should hear a buzzing of the high pressure fuel pump for about 15-12 seconds, and then it will shut off. That would mean that the pump is working. Second test you do, if the pump is working, then you come here to the top of the port side injectors fuel rail, disconnect the top of the feeding hose to the rail and install a fuel pressure gauge and see if when you turn the key on and you hear the buzzer, the buzzing sound, if you got any PSI of pressure. Regular pressure would be between 36 and 42. 42 is high, but it will average on that range, all right? Then after all that, you want to know if you turn the key on and you don't hear the buzzing, that means that something is either wrong with the electric system or something wrong with the VST or the pump itself. So the way to test it is you disconnect right here on the port side, intake manifold port side. There is this connector right here. All right. So on the port side, intake manifold, we're gonna remove that. We're gonna remove everything to get the VST out. But the first test you're gonna do, you come to this connector right here, okay? Right here, this connector, two-wire connector, gray and red. Disconnect this, right? And this connector that has got the two pins, metal pins inside, right? You're gonna put a positive and a negative right there. When you put a positive and a negative right there, positive on the red, negative on the gray, you're gonna hear the buzzing, then you know it's not the pump, it's the system. Something happened, either the fuse went or something wrong with the ECU, or you gotta start diagnosing this. Obviously, connect the computer, YDIS computer by Yamaha, but you know that my videos are for you guys that don't have the special tools or don't have the computer. So the way to do it is you put a positive on the red, negative on the gray, and you listen to the buzzing. Not buzzing, the pump is bad. One more test before you do anything. On the other side of the connector, right? It's got both sides, the male and female. You go to the female side, right? Okay, and you put your tester, test light or whatever, and you see if the 10 to 12 seconds, 10 to 15 seconds is actually working, right? To make sure that the whole system in the motor is okay, and to definite know that the pump is the issue. So let's do that. All right. So the way to do that test, you go to the female, right? And if you don't have the tools, again, I have the connector, the special connector by Yamaha, but you don't. So get some kind of small wire. I call this my IV. It looks like a syringe, but it's actually an electrical tester. And put it, let's say, in the red, okay? Let's put it in the red right there, like so. There you go. So put the positive in the middle part of that wire, of that pin, or whatever you can put in the positive, red of the connector, and then the other side of that wire, put it on your on the tip of your test light. I have a snap-on or any light at all. Go to Advanced Auto Parts and get yourself a test light, okay? This kind of test lights, right, like this. I don't know if you're looking at it. Yeah, this kind of test light like this. If you put this alligator in the negative, whatever you touch with this tip and the light goes on, is a good positive. If you put the alligator in a positive, whatever you touch with this tip and it lights, it's a good negative, okay? So we're gonna put this side of the tester, of test light, on a negative, okay? So here we go. I'm gonna come to the main ground of the motor, right there, right? Bring it from the top, and then put my other side of the red right here on my tip of my connector, of my test light, right here, like that, okay? All right, so let's leave that here. Let me see if I can put it here so you can see what's going on. But how about here? There you go. Can you see the test light right there? Yes, perfect. So let's go ahead and turn the key switch on and see what happens. Do not crank the motor, only turn the key switch on. Boom. That's it. It's gonna last 10, 12 seconds, and the fuel pressure pump will shut off, okay? Let's do it again. Key switch off. Don't turn it on immediately. Wait for about 10, 50 seconds to do this same test again. All right, now it should be a good time. All right, let's do it again. 10 seconds, the fuel pressure pump will run. It's running, it's running, it's running, it's running, and it's shut off. Okay? That means that your system, your complete system in the motor, it's okay. It's running fine, okay? And so you already have your answer what the problem is, correct? You already tested the pump directly, positive and negative, and it's not buzzing at all right? You put your positive and check your complete engine wiring, and your ECU, fuses, everything is working fine. So it's definitely the high pressure fuel pressure pump inside the VSD tank. To remove that pump, we're gonna remove this complete intake manifold, this airbox on top, and then after everything is removed, we'll be able to access, because it's gonna be exposed, the complete VSD and the low pressure fuel pump, which is outside the VSD. It's all gonna be exposed. So I'll explain to you and show to you what are the hoses we're gonna disconnect to bring that VSD to the bench. Okay, probably if you got confused with the, sorry, it's raining, and that's the noise that you're hearing on the roof right here. Anyway, if you got a little confused with the wiring I just did with the test light, okay, again, the test light has got a bulb, a light bulb inside the light, okay? You need positive and negative for a light bulb to turn on, right? Okay, so you're gonna put your test light, right? You put the whatever in any positive or negative, in any system that you put the alligator of your test light, right? Whatever the tip touches, right, is the opposite to what you connected. If you connect your alligator in a negative, you start touching things. When it lights up, that is a positive, because you have the negative already on the alligator, and you need the positive for the light bulb to turn on. That's it, very simple. If you put that in a positive, whatever you touch around and the light comes on, it's a negative, okay? Good, so what I did was simple. I put my light alligator on the negative, main negative battery cable of the motor, brought my test light up to here. All I had to do was to bring my light to this positive in the female, but I'm by myself. I couldn't hold the light here and go to the front and turn the light on because I'm by myself, and you maybe are also by yourself. So what I did was cheat the system a little bit. I have my test light here, and I put a little wire on the positive, correct? And then I connected that little wire that I put in the positive to the tip of my test light. So if I turn on and the light comes on, it's in a positive, it means that it's a good positive. That's all I did, okay? Now if you have somebody with you, you don't have to do that little bridge. Just put the alligator of your light on the negative, bring with your test light and touch the red in the female, and have your buddy or somebody turn the key switch on, and that's it. You'll see the light coming on. Capiche? Copy that. All right, first we're gonna remove the number 12 millimeters intake manifold bolts. 1, 2, 3, and 4 down there. Okay, very simple. You need a little like extension for the bottom one. All right, again, no big deal. Let's do that. So in this case, I got my 12 right here, that's the one I was using before, and I put it on a swivel. Let's see if you can see that. Yeah, I put it on a swivel, right? So now I can go down there. Okay, now with the 10 millimeter, now you're gonna remove one in here to remove part of the front of the intake manifold. One here, right? One down here, one in front, and one on the top. Number 10. Now we're gonna remove the airbox. There's one here in the top, one here. So you got 4 here, right? Bring this back, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. You got number 10, number 10, number 10 below right there, number 10 in the center right there. Then on the top, you have number 10 here, number 10 there, number 10 there, and number 10 there, okay? The airbox is already loose. Remove this hose right here, okay? Take it out from this. I don't know if I'll be able to do it with one hand. Let me put the camera. Cut this zip tie right here and remove your hose, your blow-by hose. This is the hose that goes and get the air out of your valve covers. And all those gases are burned through the intake airbox. Now in the front of this airbox, you have, right? It connects to your main electronic throttle valve, right? Right there. And you have this little hose right there, just remove it. Pull it off, and that's it. The whole airbox comes on. There is a sensor in the back, which is the air intake pressure, air intake temperature. Right here, that little green, remove that connector. Let's see if I can do it with one hand. Okay, and that's it. Airbox is out, okay? Put it on the side, and let's keep going. All right, now after removing these 2 bolts, that are the ones that hold the intake manifold to the electronic throttle valve body, the intake manifold is out. Very simple. You have this hose attached right here with 2 clips. This is the drain to your VST tank, which is this guy right here. And if you want to drain it, this is the hose. By removing this right now, I can, oh Lord, I can already smell the lacquer of old gas. I bet you this boat was in storage for many, many months before he put it in the water. Customer just didn't tell us those details. You gotta find out as a good detective. Oh my God, this smells old gas. That high pressure fuel pump that it's inside this unit. By the way, this is the low pressure fuel pump. This is only like 13 PSI of suction, okay? 13 PSI, I mean, it withdraws gas from the tank in the boat and brings it to the VST, to the high pressure fuel pump. So there are 2 pumps. This one is external, all right? It's cooled by, by air and the fuel that goes through. And this one is a high pressure fuel pump and it's cooled by water. I'll explain to you that later. So we're gonna go ahead and remove the low pressure fuel pump. This is the pump that brings fuel from the boat's fuel tank and brings it to the high pressure fuel pump inside this unit, right? The pressure coming out of this pump is 13 PSI. The pressure coming out of this one is between 38 and 36 and 42. All right, let's start removing hoses. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is to remove the low pressure fuel pump, okay? There is a bracket, this metal bracket, all right? It engages on the pump and then fastens on the VST tank. VST, as V as in Victory, is a vapor separator tank, VST. So we're gonna take these 2 number 10s. When we are here already at this point, what I do, because there are so many bolts, these ones I don't care, these are very, obvious that they go here. These are very obvious that they belong here. But when we are getting deeper and deeper, I like to put these bolts back after I remove the bracket. This, you see, you take this off. Let me see if I can move it. Go forward a little bit and pull the pump and take the bracket off. Okay, this bracket comes off. And what I do is I start just getting my bolts back, just in case, because I know I want to come back later and don't miss any. So I'm going to put this bolt back. There you go. Now we have the low pressure fuel pump already off the main VST body. Remove this hose right here. All right. After disconnecting this hose, all right, expect a little gas coming out. I can smell the old gas already. The low pressure fuel pump is already off the body, right, of the VST, right? You could have taken it off from here, which what we did, right, and the bracket off. Now we're gonna go to the actual high pressure hose, which is this one, all right? It's a plastic connector. I'm gonna move the camera a little bit for you to see better. And you're gonna go to the lower tabs, all right? The lower ones. Push the lower out and this out. And then all this connector is gonna slide on that direction. But it's gonna stay on the hose, okay? All right, with the a small flat screwdriver, I'm gonna push the lower part of the tab out. That side and this side at the same time. Right, that's it. They're both out. Once they're both out, that's it. Then the whole connector is going to slide to the back. Do you see how it moved from here to here? See, it clicked again. Let me take it out again, and you will see it sliding to the back. There you go. See? And it's going to stay there, right? From there, you get your needle nose and take that hose out. This is the main hose that brings all the gas from the VST to the injector rails, okay? Through several hoses that are up there on top of the motor. All right, see? It came out, some gas is coming out, no big deal. Now you come into this connector right here, which is the same pigtail connector that goes to this connector to make all your tests. The difference that you can you can do all the tests to your pump from the top of the intake manifold without removing the intake manifold, right? But once the intake manifold is off, take this one off, and then this one goes to the connector right here. So push the tab and pull it out, okay? This is gonna be a little tricky, but let me see if I can do it. The tab is on the top. Yes, it is on the top. Then we're gonna push that tab and push out, and that's it, okay? See, this is just a bridge from the pump to this connector. So we don't wanna lose it, hook it there, and leave it there. This goes directly to your pump. This is what brings the voltage on the ground to your pump, okay? Now next, let me bring this back. You're gonna have 1, 2, behind the lower pressure fuel pump, 3 and 4 bolts with those big washers, right? To separate the VST from the motor. Then there are more hoses in the back. Let's do that, okay? We take this hose, that is the one that takes all the vapors out, okay? And then in the back, you follow this little hose that goes to the, right there, your fuel regulator, fuel pressure regulator. Just take it out. I'm gonna need 2 hands for this. All right, this hose we took, and now the fuel pressure regulator. Take it out, okay? Now in the back, this is important. Now I can see that we're gonna have some issues with the cooling of the VST. The fuel in this tank is cooled by water. There is actual radiator. You can call it a radiator. Water goes in this little pocket and is cooled by this radiator. This is the water going out, and this is the water going in all the way down here. So there is a hose here, which is the water coming out, and there is a hose down here, all the way down. Let's see if you can see it right there. Take that one off. Water coming in, water coming out, okay? And then you're gonna take this one off, which is the return line for the low pressure fuel pump. All right, this is what actually goes back to the low pressure fuel pump when the motor is in idle and the pump keeps rotating gas around. So remove that one, return line for the low pressure fuel pump, and the two intake and outlet waters to the fuel cooler right here. Let's do that. Here you can have a better angle. Let me bring this camera down. Okay, see, I brought the VST out a little bit, so now you can see this hose is the return line to the low pressure fuel pump, right? That hose goes back to this pump and then sends the fuel through this loop back inside again and so forth. In here you can see better. This is a radiator, water coming in, water coming out. Remove these two hoses, right? Okay, I already removed this side. Now we'll remove this side. And I believe, let me see, that this is it. Yes, this is it. Now you have your VST in your hands, okay? Right here. We're gonna put it in the bench, right on the vise, and we'll start taking it apart so you can see what's the access of the pump. All right, so this is the VST tank. Let me give you a few pointers. Just keep an eye on this washers. Sometimes they fall. Just keep them there. Sometimes they stay like this one. If you ever have water in your system and you want to drain this VST without removing the intake manifold, it's very easy. Just go to this Phillips plug right here and loosen it like probably 2 or 3 or 4 turns. Don't take it out all the way, because then to put it back, it's a pain in the butt. So just go out like 2 or 3 turns and you will see gas or water, in this case, if you have water in here, coming out of this hose. Then you put a cup or something to get that water and that gas, and then tighten this plug back slightly. Don't go crazy. It's very, very delicate. Just like snug it enough for the gas flow, or the water flow in this case, to stop flowing in case you got water here. You shouldn't have any water here, only gas. All right, so if you go to the back right here, this is the front that we saw on the motor, right? This is the front. Now let's go to the back. This is the radiator that we were talking about, and the first test you're gonna do is just put a hose in either one of them and blow through it. If air goes through easy, you're good. Water is going in and the fuel is getting cooled. If you put a hose in either one of these two and you can't blow through it, means that the radiator is clogged with salt. This is the case. I think that this is very clogged and restrained inside, so we're gonna take a look at it. All right, so let's do this. First, I'm gonna put a hose in the bottom. Either side, it's okay. I'm gonna go from the bottom up, blow. Nothing. This should be the same, obviously. Barely a little air, so this is definitely all clogged up. Let's open it up, and then we go inside to check the pump. Let me give you an important tip that it took me many, many years to learn after a lot of headaches. These bolts, the same with the top of the cover to open the VST. Put your screwdriver and hit it with a hammer before you even attempt to loosen them up. Okay, hammer, Phillips screwdriver, one hit, another one here, and another one here. Okay, see, one of the washers came off. Put it back. Okay, that will assure you that, see how these bolts come out easy. If you don't do that, you're gonna strip those bolts, and they are so easy to remove just by using that trick. So once we remove this, You're gonna have two, a gasket and another gasket. One. Okay. You have the cover. You have the membrane. Let's see if I can take it out. This membrane, it's already garbage, I can see. Take the membrane out. I want you to see this. Let's see if I can put it in the right position. Right there, okay. Let's take the membrane out. Look at that. See? Completely clogged. All that is just salt. Look at this. Okay. So whatever water was coming in and out, this usually happens because the motors are not being flushed regularly. You gotta flush your motors regularly. If not, you get this. Look at this. Look at the amount of salt in this thing. It's unbelievable, huh? And then you have the O-ring that goes in a little very, very thin groove that sometimes when this gets very corroded, the walls fall and you can't put that O-ring back again. Let's see if this is the case. I hope not. I can see that. Okay, let's remove this O-ring carefully and let's watch to see if we got enough walls, I think. A little bit here and a little bit here, but I think we can make it happen. Look at this thing. Okay, so I'm not gonna bore you with this. Just clean this radiator, this fuel cooler, and make it look like new. And clean the groove around. Make sure it's very clean. If you see that the wall inside holding this O-ring has fallen off, and there is a chance that this O-ring, when it's sitting, just falls in and it starts leaking or something, disregard the complete VST tank. You can use the top, but throw away the bottom. I have a few in here that I had to throw away. This one is one of them. Yep. This one was thrown away. Look at this one. Okay? Because this one, the corrosion was so much that it got a hole in the tank. There is a hole right there. And fuel began to mix with the gas. Fuel began to mix with the water because it got a hole right there. So this whole thing was thrown away. But this is the tank, right? See? It's just the tank, right? But you can keep the top. Throw this away and buy a new tank, but you gotta keep the top. You'll see how it comes off. And a quick twist. There you go. All the bolts are loose now. All right. Be careful, don't lose any of these bolts. Just pull it out, and you will see the pump right there. Oh my Lord, look at the color of that pump. That pump is silver. Look at how corroded that is. Of course it's bad. And this is your float, all right? Just like a carburetor. Once it gets filled, boom, this shuts off the gas. Oh my God, look at this. Are you seeing the color of that pump? That's all corrosion. Completely corroded. And this is your strainer or your filter, right? This is where this strainer filters the gas that goes into your injectors through this pump, okay? All right.